From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
And good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on your MTN statewide news on this Monday. I'm Andrea Lutz. New at noon, House Democrats formally introduce an impeachment for President Donald Trump, charging him for last week's role with the riots at the U.S. Capitol. The House is poised to vote on it later this week. It will be the Democrats' first step toward making Trump the first president in history to be impeached twice. The House will start by calling on Vice President Mike Pence and cabinet officials to invoke the 25th Amendment. That would mean the entire Senate would have to agree Trump is unfit to fulfill his duties as president. Pence would serve as president until January 20th. And Montana Representative Matt Rosendale says he's standing with several Republican colleagues to object to the Democratic resolution to call on Vice President Pence to invoke that 25th Amendment. Well, you can expect added security on Inauguration Day in D.C. The mayor of Washington, D.C. is asking for a pre-disaster declaration to allow for federal assistance, citing the protests at the Capitol last week. She's also asked for a security period to be extended 4 days after inauguration. The mayor also wants all applications for demonstrations denied during that period. January is on track to become the deadliest month for COVID-19 for the United States. In the first 11 days, the country broke its record multiple times for the most COVID deaths in one day. Johns Hopkins is reporting 27,000 deaths so far this month. Health officials say this could be because Americans traveled for the holidays. Right now, December holds the record for the deadliest month. Top health officials say the U.S. vaccine strategy is not working. Fewer than 7 million people received the first dose, and some hospitals are being forced to throw away vaccines that have expired. Each vial contains 3 doses, but sometimes there aren't enough to vaccinate. Officials say this process needs to be streamlined to stop a new variant. A 9-year-old Kalispell boy who touched the hearts of thousands of supporters lost his long and courageous battle just this morning. Maverick Bench died in Colorado at a hospital where he was receiving critical care. His hardship started in May when he was diagnosed with a rare condition that stops the body from producing new blood cells. So he underwent 2 bone marrow transplants, chemotherapy, but had severe complications. His fight went viral on social media with more than 18,000 people following his Facebook page called Maverick's Army. Today, of course, our hearts are heavy and with his entire family. Well, the University of Montana's spring semester, it begins today, and school officials say keeping everyone safe during the pandemic is their top priority. But they're also looking at new ways to keep student morale high. They've improved outdoor activities like adding a temporary ice rink on campus. The university golf course is also going to be used as a cross-country ski hill this winter, and officials say it's all for safe student interaction.
It's a positive addition to the academic environment, and it's a way for us to sort of give back to students and let them know that we really do care very, very deeply about their social health and their emotional health.
Those living in residence halls will be offered free asymptomatic COVID-19 tests the first 2 weeks of the semester. That's in addition to the symptomatic tests available to all students all semester long. Well, can you believe this? Yeah, temperatures falling into the 20s and 30s in central Texas. Then the heavy snow fell. This is what it looked like in Austin over the weekend, but it won't last for long. Weather officials there say the temperatures are going to rise quite a bit now over the next few days. And of course, a lot of us are wondering where our snow is in our state. What do you think about that?
Blame it on me, blame it on the weather guy.
Is it your fault?
Well, I'll take it. I'll take one for the team. How's that sound?
That's brave of you to do, Miller.
Well, you know what? It's just crazy weather out there. Things have kind of flipped. It's just, 2020 has turned into 2021, and it's still kind of wacky out there. So we take a look at our temperatures out there right now. now. We're making our way from the western part of the state where we're in the 20s to central Montana. We're in the 40s and 30s, and also northern Wyoming. It's a nice day out there right now. Temperatures above average this afternoon for our highs. A lot of sunshine, a few clouds mixing in. Big story is we're going to start to see those winds really kick up. You can see from Cut Bank all the way down to Livingston. We've got gusts over 30 miles an hour, close to 40 in Livingston. We've got a gust in Billings as well as about 26. Now, as we get into Wednesday, those winds will really start to pick up. In fact, we're going to have winds between 50 and 70 miles an hour all the way through Thursday, and it's going to migrate from the western part of the state to the eastern part of the state. And we could see, you asked about snow, we could see a little bit of snow off of that. It's not likely, but we'll take a look at that more with the main forecast coming up.
All right, Miller, thanks for that. Well, the community of Missoula coming together after a hiker found a hate symbol vandalized on Waterworks Hill and the peace sign there. Volunteers worked to remove a swastika and do some other maintenance. The Jeanette Rankin Peace Center purchased that 4-acre plot where the peace sign sits atop the hill as a beacon of the organization's mission. But now the focus, they say, isn't finding blame for who vandalized the sign, but rather sparking a meaningful conversation.
You know, we got a lot of comments about how sad it was that this happened, but it's really a conversation. And it was a wonderful opportunity for about a dozen folks to get together yesterday and feel like they were doing something, pairing the peace sign, putting it back together again, sort of reinforcing the resilience of the conversation of peace and saying that, you know, every single time love overcomes hate.
The swastika was taken down and the public is encouraged to visit the Peace Park on Waterworks Hill. New at noon, the Gallatin County Commissioners appointed Under Sheriff Dan Springer to serve as interim sheriff until a permanent replacement is named for Brian Gutkin. The former Sheriff Gutkin's last day was at the end of 2020. He's been named to lead the Department of Corrections by the governor. So commissioners met this morning to name that interim sheriff and say their work is not done. The public, they say, will be involved in the process. However, details are still being worked out for that permanent solution. Applications are open for businesses to apply for loans in round 2 of the Paycheck Protection Program. The Red Door in Billings is one of the city's first restaurants to apply for the second time. To be eligible, businesses have to prove a 25% drop in revenue from 2020 compared to 2019. Establishments can receive 3.5 times their payroll, and there is another perk.
Terms of repayment is there's no payments for the first 6 months, and then if you prove to the government that you used it for the right purposes, then you actually don't repay the loan at all. The government repays it for you.
Well, the last business day, or the last day that businesses can apply and are eligible, is March 31st, so mark it on your calendar. There is more ahead on today's noon news, including this. We check in on some Montana, western Montana ski areas, that is, how they're doing, when they're going to open. And of course, Miller's going to let us know if there'll be snow for them in the forecast. We'll be right back.